Good morning, Lenny. My name is Chad, and welcome to the What If Deku Had or Was Bananas with a Third Eye. Here, this one. And so, hey, like, because I'm giving him, like, the split personality thing. Like, her, of course, is a girl. And the both sides, like, they're one and the same, basically. But they had a weird thing going on with them. So, we'll get into that later. And yeah, I'm also throwing in Zumi. Yeah. So then, yeah. So now let's begin with Zuko and Zumi being born. And then, of course, Inko and Asashi didn't know that their son had a Hannes was also born inside of Zuko's body. So, like, they are basically one and the same. And every time they take forms, like whoever's talking would probably, yeah. But at age of 4, you know the drill. The Quark Doctor tells Zumi that she has a fire manipulation quirk, and Zuko, so then he tells Zuko that he doesn't have a quirk, but in reality, Zuko does have a quirk. It's the same thing, but it's called elemental manipulation. It is a new type, so but his ability covers it, like, completely, to making him look quirkless. And because he had another power, so the Ganas, like, because she's been reincarnated into his body, so it's basically allows them to see each other's memories. So basically, yeah. So then Zuko, over years, or like when he was growing, his heart starts to, like, really feeling it, like something's wrong with his heart. He had to deal with it from age of 4 after the Quark Doctor to age of 15. He doesn't know why. And of course his parents, like, didn't, or like, they abandoned him, and one of their other friends used mind control thing, or like the memory manipulation, to take away the original memories and keep them away from Zuko. No. So he doesn't, and Zumi. So because both of them can never remember each others at all. Yeah. So then he goes to UA. And actually not to UA, to the some random normal school. As he was like his heart still pounding, like someone, because he has, let me tell you, before this, like, before it starts, or before they figured it out. So let me tell you, audience, that Zuko, who in this what if, because he's a guy that has her as the, like, because they both share the same body, he, of course, she ends up having kids with him inside of his own body. That's why the heart is pounding so hard. As he's like breathing, even. And there wasn't just one kid, or there wasn't just a one kid. He had, my original plan was four, no, my original plan was three, but so, yeah. So he tries to, like, ignore it. But then when the All for One versus All Might thing, All for One did know that Zuko was not quirkless, but he ended up, of course, he says to All Might that, huh, you missed a golden opportunity. For what? The evil scheme of yours to. No, no, no. When I say golden opportunity, the. Hey, I believe one of the citizens, Zukumadoria, has a goddess in him. 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 Inside of his body. As Bakugo didn't realize that, because in this what if, whoever has the goddess with a third eye is more valuable than the like all that stuff, or all the pro heroes put together. important people. So then, yeah. So, and plus, let's say at age of 3 before her, Ochako and him, of course, Ochako always thinks about him because, to be honest, she loves him that much. So then, yeah. So Zuko ends up, um, like when he was abandoned, he had nowhere to go. Oh. But then it was finally time to let him out. They weren't just a normal way out. Like, yeah, they he or Zuko vomits it out as those 4 kids came out, and they were size of what young Midoriya was. Or they were toddlers. As Zuko, because he also has the infinity power, so, and Zero, because with the Nanas thing, he's more valuable than the entire multiverse. More important than, like, anywhere. Like, he could just. So he uses his hands, or like, hands, to pick up his 3 or 4 toddlers on Earth and made a little backpack for them. As so then his body starts to change. He went from Zuko, slowly transforms into the Ganas with a 3rd eye. As she opens her eyes, and yeah, basically she said to her children's, don't worry, mommy's gotcha, yeah. So, and plus the 4 kids that I am talking about is, one of them looks like from that slime one, but with a longer shirt, and it got one that has a horn, and then we got the black-haired man, green, and so that was, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, this guy being a kid, yeah. So they all respect their parents. And as she flew to some other forest, like into the forest, and she uses her powers to create a little cabin. That's, well, not really little cabin, more like a mansion kind. Is she decorates it, man, and the, of course, all for all might and does the same thing in canon. So did All for One. So then he turns to, like, after the whole USJ, or no, after the All Might versus All for One thing, Zuko, or no, they focus their attentions on Zuko, as it took them years to try to figure out where he's at. Because the so during that time, Zuko teaches their kids, or his kids, or their kids, to how to use their powers. Some of them are like her. She uses her slime abilities abilities to great extent. And then she uses her like rewind quirk and her abilities. I don't know what abilities should I give them, but they, yeah. So I know that this one, and I'm giving him the see into the future thing. That's why his eye is actually his gray eye, the one that's right here. He ends up seeing into the future. The other, the red one, is actually from his mother. And then this lunatic, yeah, he ends up doing, like, because he was very young, he actually has a power to, like, bend reality to his will. But Zuko and the man is unaffected by it. So they taught him a proper way to use his power. Yeah. And then yeah. So then the whole meeting on talking about how if they find him, the um, as Zumi was like, as she, it's like her memory of her own brother was completely erased. So because of, and it took them year to try to find him, as Asashi, that guy, here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Not this guy. No, not this one. This guy right here. This one, he ends up, becoming, like, when after he heard that all the All for One was the knew about Zuko's thing, because before they even catch on, and so then they try to find out as or let's say Inko, or when Asashi told Inko that they messed up, and the yeah, when I say they messed up, they really did. As Inko cries, is is as the I said cries, as yeah, she had guilt on her. Like, she couldn't believe that the Zuko was more important. He should have just kept tabs on him instead of abandoning him like that. So, yeah. And Bakugo, on the other hand, and as was he was blaming himself, but when Razorhead tells the whole class if like what's going down, thing, because Mr. Ozawa tells them that we don't know what abilities or quirks he has, but in regard if necessary, because in this alternate timeline, Overhaul heard about the illness with a third eye has came back, and because there was a bunch of worshippers that worship her as a nun, and whoever has her is also gets praised by for the rest of their lives. So, yeah. Zumi was, or no, actually Inko was in that group too. so then, the Bakugo, or so Ochako wants to know a lot about Zuko, because Ochako knows that Bakugo hangs way more around with him more than anyone. As Bakugo says, well, when Zuko always likes to relax, X, but when I felt a weird aura on him. In this alternate timeline, Bakugo is completely calm, like not like gonna whack somebody out to the head. Right. So he talks Ochako. The entire class wants to know, as Mr. Aizawa tells Bakugo to come up here, explain what he was before. Well, as he explains to the whole class that the Zuko, who is my friend, still is. He's my best friend. When one day that when the quirk doctor tells him that he was quirkless, then a eerie aura surrounding Zuko, or my friend, as I could tell that the quirk doctor was lying to him. It's off of my. See, I'm not like all explosive and no bark. All range, no bark thing. Or, well, the no Zuko, as he says that I even told him I knew what quirk he had, and that he had the elemental manipulation. It was the same thing as if you put like a tract and the fire together, as he knew. But then Bakugo, or then Zuko, went away. As Bakugo wanted to tear up too, because so yeah. So then so Bakugo, so there was, let's say another pro hero went over to the quirk doctor to just ask him about Zuko's file thing, as yeah, so the quirk doctor says, okay, here you go. As he looks at it, and it said Zuko Midoriya quirk manipulation, elemental manipulation. I see. As the one of the pro heroes like when he took that file back to who to gather up or to gather up more information about him. And when they did, like they ended up going like to the meeting thing. Principal Nezu does his like, I see, as the at meeting thing. I see. So who knew or who was not fooled by that lied? So as because the so Bunny Girl was there as she says, what should we do now? If we can't find him, and what quirk does he have? Oh, he has elemental manipulation quirk. But that's not all. Him in housing the planets with a third eye, he is his ability. It says that he has infinity and zero as his abilities. So we're looking at a most powerfulest person in the world. As Midnight is like, man, really? Yes. As Nezu says, yes. He is more important than, or very, 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 like, super, very important person. And, yeah, if we can't find him fast, as we need to, oh, as he hopes that with that much power at the, and so all the pro heroes walked off. He has to talk to Asashi and Inko. And of course, before he starts doing that, he looks out the window. He says, "Zuko, my boy, hey, you might end up being a number one hero or threat to society." So yeah. So then the meeting with Inko and Asashi, when Inko was like, when she heard that the court doctor lied to her son on being quirkless, she broke down in tears. But when she heard that the Zuko might be, or is the most powerfulest person between him and with his ability of infinity and zero, he will end up going to be, if we can't find him, or if we find him before the heroes, or before the villains find him, he'll be our like ally. But then if a villains get to him first, he'll be the giant threat to humanity. So but first they have to deal with Overhaul. That is more important. Because he was also working on a product to like boost everybody's like bodies to absolute max limit. So then he ends up getting stopped by the pro heroes. He transforms into a monster form, and Zumi is about to get crushed by but then a young brown-haired kid that has the same style as him, but with brown hair and brown eyes, or blue eyes, came out of nowhere and saved her and Ares. As he it's up as the kids were like got introduced to town, and so they were like tall, so they were like, now you really need a new motto. As Zuko looks at the Overhaul, as he says that your harmonization is over. As, let's say, the Sir Night Eyes, or Sir Night Eyes, could tell that as Zuko's eyes were able to change colors, so he uses blue as gravity, because space. To lift or actually main overhaul his entire body, like, because to be flat as a pancake, as he says that you're gonna hurt anyone, try yourself. Every time you move, it breaks your. And as he so they didn't know that that was Zuko Oh, they thought it was like some stranger. So then, after all that, he was still in love with him. So did the Ochako. Oh, she doesn't care if he has the housed the nanish with a third eye. None of that cred. And yeah, so then don't ask me how they or don't ask me how they were able to have four kids in his heart. I don't know. Probably she used her magical eye to inside of Zuko's body. Yeah, because the reason why I say his heart is because the if he had a stomach, everyone would notice why, and some would just ignore it. So then he, yeah. So then he takes his kids shopping. I mean, or new clothes, as he pays with real money. And he, so so she gets a new outfit. She gets a new like outfit too, like a shirt and all that stuff. So then, yeah, most of them got new outfits, and then the and they didn't put a tracker on him. I forgot to mention because he wasn't going to UA, so there was no point in putting a tracker on him. So then Zuko relaxes. They even bought a new car with a boat. Um, and plus, actually not a normal car, but they bought a like the RV, the ones that are super big ones, as with a trailer hitch on the back, and he wants to use it so that the as his own like um, if a kid decided to play video games things. So yeah, he plays video games, or actually it's like the living room. So yeah, so then the tall guys, or they all like, so they used earth manipulation to make it raise up a little bit, to make it even with it. So yeah, so he made a wooden area for him to, like, basically, and he covers it the with trees to make it look like a bush, like camouflage it. And yeah, he also set up barriers to connect to it. So, and he, like, let's say that night, after everyone went to bed, Zuko went over, like he wanted to ask her something, but the it was just rude to ask. As she knew what his thoughts were, as she says to him, because his eye turns like the same color as him, like, and his forehead grew that, as she tells him that as she says this, "You're so cute when you try to think about certain things like that, about, and I know that when he hasn't, he he, he lays right next to him." As Zuko says, "You kind of creep me out sometimes." As yeah, he he ends up, both of them. And she says, "Sorry, the I'm going through your memories of it, but some of them are very visity, like, but I remember you had your own birthday party when at age of 5. And yeah, because she was there. Er, she even told him that she was there, so he didn't feel alone with her, or with, yeah. So then, yeah. Please wait for part 2.